Well, there has been rather widespread reaction to Apple's keynote event on Wednesday. The tech giant unveiled a new iPhone to a degree and an updated Apple Watch at the event. One of the biggest takeaways, however, from the announcements in question was that the company was ditching the traditional headphone jack, opting instead for what they are calling AirPods. CBS News contributor Nick Thompson is an editor of NewYork.com. He's also here to break down all the tech news from yesterday, or perhaps not so much tech news from yesterday. I think it's the best compliment a writer can pay to another one, to have wished to have written what you wrote. So I wish to have tweeted what you tweeted yesterday. The self-congratulation to real innovation ratio, not great yesterday. Perhaps some saw that coming, but what did you think of what you saw and didn't see yesterday?
Okay, so what I meant with that tweet is if you watch that event lasted for 2 hours, right? A lot of time for an event. Some of it was spent talking about real innovation, a little bit. Some of it was talking about how the engineering works, which is a good way to fill the time because it makes you feel excited and feel like you understand it even though you don't really understand it. And then a lot of it was just talking about how great we are, this is the best ever, we're so amazing, we've sold so much more, we've done this, we've done that. These events are always partly about self-congratulation, but it started to irk me a little bit yesterday. Okay, so what did we see yesterday that matters? Early stuff, not so much, unless you're really into Pokemon. Pokemon Go is coming to the watch. Kind of exciting. If you're a really good Pokemon player, you're less likely to walk into a tree.
Fair.
It's kind of exciting.
All right, that's good to know.
Watch is going to be completely waterproof. It's been redesigned for fitness enthusiasts.
Okay.
Kind of exciting. Watch hasn't been a huge seller. They've probably checked the data on the watch, seen what people are using. They're probably using it for fitness. They decided to go all in on that. Then the phone. Better processor, better memory, sleeker case, sleeker design, and then they got rid of the headphone jack, which is going to irritate a lot of people.
Yeah, it sure is.
And they put a great camera in. So some really good stuff, some medium stuff, and some annoying stuff. And it looks like you want to talk about the headphone jack because that's what's upsetting people.
Oh, well, I mean, we could talk about a lot of that. But starting with this overall idea, I mean, these events used to not only be innovative, but they felt cultural. This was a part of what Apple did. And so I feel like it's becoming this fainter and fainter echo of a company that, for all its brilliance at the top, Tim Cook, Johnny Ive, and all the rest, without a Steve Jobs, without a figurehead to sort of bring it all together, it starts to feel not unlike a fast food giant telling you about a new, improved, hamburger. And so that was a cultural takeaway, perhaps, if nothing else. The headphone jack, though, particularly, that just feels like a straight up money grab.
Well, it's actually, I think, very interesting in a couple of ways. There are real reasons why you would want to get rid of the headphone jack, right? Because space is really limited there, right? So if you want to increase memory, get rid of the headphone jack, it adds up a little space. Waterproofing, having a hole in the phone, not a good thing for waterproofing, right? You get rid of that hole, or you get rid of one of the holes, makes it a lot easier to waterproof. So there are reasons to get rid of it. The real reason they're getting rid of it is because they're going to sell you these new AirPods, which are going to sync up with your computer and be very easy to use with Siri. So ideally, you'll give them money to get these, and then once you have them, you'll get deeper into the Apple ecosystem, right? You'll start talking to your computer. You'll start talking to other devices. You'll buy more Apple things. You'll be kind of locked into the Apple ecosystem. That's what they want.
You'll also start buying more AirPods.
Because you'll lose them constantly, right?
Chances of those lasting for more than a week on my person, slim to none.
My estimate is that I'm going to buy 8. They do little adapters so you can plug your regular stuff. I think I'm going to buy 8 of them in the next year is my guess. I should just buy 8 now and put like one in every room of my house.
The over-under
in the office and in the car,
The over-under on the average consumer. Want to get to Sony, though. Interestingly, and perhaps not coincidentally, we saw some real innovation yesterday, unveiled by a tech giant. It just happened to be Sony with a little retro innovation on the old PlayStation.
Right, so what they're doing is they're kind of breaking up the cycle. Normally it was sort of every 5-7 years you introduce a new console. Now it's kind of in the middle you try to catch up, right? Because what you want to do, this is basically about graphics, about image rendering, about resolution, right? They're making the PlayStation 4 Plus give you 4K video. What's happened is that lots of people have upgraded from 1080p TVs to 4K TVs, right? And this has happened recently. So now they need their console to match that, and they also need to keep pace with Microsoft. So they've introduced a new PlayStation, or an upgrade to the PlayStation, a mini innovation, which will have better rendering and look prettier, which is really important to gamers, a huge thing.
And that's the thing. I mean, this is something that people who need this will be clamoring for and really look to go buy.
Yeah. I think that's true.
What a concept.
Well, Apple did do that on the camera. The one thing we haven't talked about on Apple, they really did build kind of an amazing camera. If you are into high-end photography and you have one of those big DSLRs, this is the first time you have a phone that can kind of match that. So Apple did have some real innovation for a small group of people, but Sony also did something quite similar.
Okay.
Of course, nobody noticed. Why would you plan an event the day that Apple's announcing it too? I mean, that just...
Okay, that's a good question.
I mean, all the tech reporters are going to be busy. I mean, maybe you tag on, I don't know.
Okay, but if you're Apple, why would you create a Twitter account that essentially leaked all of your products and really it just ignited the ire of tech bloggers?
Twitter is hard, man.
Over.
Twitter, like Apple's new to Twitter. They haven't tweeted in a couple years. They don't have
tough for those tech
It's like
giants.
Anthony Weiner. They thought it was a private tweet, but it was actually a public tweet.
There's so much. There's so much to unpack.
Yes.
We do what we can. Nick Thompson, as always.
Pleasure to be here.
Thanks, bud.